Hi, my name's Gemma Stride and I'm currently working on the Working Woodlands project for Our Past, Our Future Heritage Lottery funded project. This is all about increasing and enhancing biodiversity in small privately owned woodlands within the New Forest. Today we're working with Toby, who is a contractor, and something particularly special that Toby does is working with heavy horses to extract timber out of woodlands which would be otherwise very difficult to extract from because of tight, very small rides, and also the ground conditions potentially could be very sensitive. In particular here we have a very wet woodland which otherwise machinery would not be able to access. Again, there are no gravel tracks to be able to get into the woodland, so the horses very gently and sensitively make their way into the woods, extract the timber without really leaving any trace.
Hi, my name's Toby Hoad. I'm from Dorset Horse Logging. I use a pair of heavy horses which are called comptoirs. I've got Fleur, which is a 11-year-old, and Celine, that is 5. They're used mainly in woodlands that have got limited access, maybe, that are wet, that are possibly having to work on a slope as well. So it's just they're just quite nimble and being able to sort of get timber out of woodlands where you possibly wouldn't be able to get machines into. The other work that we do is bracken rolling, which usually runs between June and July. It's obviously using a roller to roll the bracken, which bruises it, stumps its growth. So if it's done every year, over 3 years, then it limits the regrowth of the bracken. Yeah, the site that we're working on has been quite wet woodland. We had a site visit in May and it was literally 2 ponds with the timber sort of being felled around it. So obviously we put it off until now, and with the warm weather that we've had, thankfully everything's dried up and we've been able to get the horses in there, although there are some areas that are still incredibly muddy, I guess, which is unbelievable considering how warm it's been. So the horses have sort of come into their own as well, because we've almost had to cut a ride in to get the timber out. Access is very limited. You wouldn't actually be able to get a machine in there. We made our own path, and where the horses have been extracting timber, what it naturally does is the timber sort of running over the ground just sort of lightly scarifies the woodland floor. So there's no ruts that you'd get from large timber machines. And also where we've sort of had to we're not clear felling at all, it's selective felling. So again, just access to be able to get the timber out around the other trees. The horses are quite nimble to be able to, obviously, and quite narrow to be able to weave in and out of the trees, which has worked really well here. The extraction route isn't too long, so we've been able to get out a good quantity of timber, and yeah, I think the job's gone well.